try to stay away from high sugar load food, such as tropical fruits like a mango and watermelon, like you mentioned, pineapple. Those are loaded with fructose.
Vibe, your vibe, let it collide. Find your tribe where truth can't hide. So vibe, your vibe.
Today's conversation is about inflammation, the silent fire in the body. Most of us only notice it when things go wrong: fatigue, brain fog, hormone issues, pain. We typically see doctors to treat the symptoms, but we rarely ask, why am I going through this? So my guest today is my doctor, Dr. Yihong-Hao. She's a functional and integrative medicine physician in Boca Raton. She helps people uncover the root cause of chronic issues by blending Western science and Eastern healing. Dr. Hao, welcome to Vibe Your Vibe. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kirk, for inviting me. Today, we want to talk about chronic inflammation. So if you could stop a single process in your body, and that one can silently drive heart disease, Alzheimer's, autoimmune disorders, and even cancer. So would you want to know how? This process is our topic, is chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation, majority of us all experience, and is low-grade systemic inflammation. Sometimes you don't even see. You cannot, it's invisible.
Well, it's like the frog in the pot, right? And you just keep turning the heat up a little by little by little. The inflammation keeps growing very gradually over time.
Exactly.
And you don't even really, and the next thing you know, now you've got all these different symptoms I went through. Chronic, brain fog, the fatigue, your hormone, pain.
Yeah, lots of people wait until, we normally ignore the little signals.
What are some of those small signals that we might not consider?
Small signals like, fatigue persistently. Persistent fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And when you rest, the fatigue continues. So the rest couldn't fix the fatigue. So that's a very common, one of the common symptoms.
So you're resting, but you're not really resting.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, you're resting, but you still, after you rest, the fatigue still continue. Like you still feel like low energy. You don't feel you refreshed.
Mm-hmm. So
that's one. And the brain fog is very common. Like we hear clinically. And probably the next one, the second most common complaint right after fatigue.
So you're just not sharp like you are not sharp.
You have a trouble concentrating. You couldn't finish your task.
So is it sort of like ADD or ADHD, but that you don't have a history of it?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're having struggles with
like one patient mentioned to me, she said, my husband and my mother both confronted me, said we had some conversation, but I don't remember them at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she just don't remember.
She's constant.
She doesn't
present.
Remember. Yeah.
She was there.
Both
her husband and her mother confirmed.
Said yes.
We were there. You were talking.
Yeah.
But she has no recollection.
Yeah. So that really...
That's kind of a definition of kind of what this brain fog...
Yeah.
Is there a clinical term for brain fog?
It's kind of like a precursor to cognitive decline.
Okay.
It's not that severe yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like almost your brain is in a cloud. Or like we have a patients coming here and you explain certain concept, and so I have to explain like 3 or 4 times because they just very slow for them to understand. That's also brain fog.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if you tell them to do certain things, the following instruction, it's not like they are not willing to. They just don't remember.
Is this age-based at all, or do you see it at all ages, or is
all
there
ages? All ages. Yeah, especially post pandemic, and we see lots of younger people also have a brain fog.
Mm-hmm. So is this impacting like their work?
Job situation, relationship.
I guess in any relationship, right? I think maybe they're not remembering, they're forgetting, people are losing their patience or maybe even getting angry with them, and they're not doing, they're like they're doing it on purpose, I guess is what I'm saying. And they're not doing it on purpose. They're just not, the brains isn't working like it used to.
Exactly.
And these people are people that they've known.
Yeah.
So they've known the before, and now there's this situation going on, and you're saying this is part of the chronic chronic inflammation.
Yeah, your body give you the red flag, or we call signals, but lots of times we just ignore it, But we also do have people try to be on top of things, so they realize this is not normal. Those are the common clinical signs, like indicating you do have a chronic fatigue. We talk about chronic inflammation. We talk about fatigue. We talked about brain fog. Also, lots of joint pain, body aching, muscle soreness, weight gain. Weight gain is a big deal. Lots of weight gain unexplained. Like, I'm eating right. I try to exercise, so I'm still have a weight gain. So weight gain, skin problem. Lots of people come in for skin problem because skin is our largest organ.
Largest by weight or by?
Largest by the surface.
Surface.
Yes. So acne, psoriasis, eczema, we treat those, on daily basis.
Oh, wow.
So, but that is not just your skin.
So
it's really indicating the chronic inflammation.
But the key here is being a functional and integrative medicine physician.
Yeah.
Is that you're not just giving them a cream so they're not itching anymore.
Right. Yeah. We try
So you're not just, okay, we can, you can go to the doc. We're going to give you, hydrocortisone or some other kind of cream that would prevent the itching. I guess is that the main complaint and discomfort with psoriasis as an example does it itch? I don't have psoriasis, so I don't know.
Yeah. Acne, acne now is not just limited to teenager and young people, but lots of adults, older also have acne problem. Recently, I saw a patient, 41-year-old. So she just couldn't control her acne.
Really? So she went through possibly acne in adolescence, and she grew out of that.
Yeah. So
and now as a 40-year-old,
41,
so she's now
still dealing with acne, and sometimes it can be cystic, bad. For her, definitely I needed to dig out, what exactly wrong. Also, where is her inflammation? Where's the location? How we help her control the inflammation.
And then how do you find that out?
Yeah, we are going to talk about the diagnosis.
So what are some of the things that you can do that, if you talk kind of about these subtle signs and the hidden triggers and whatnot, I guess what I want to get into now is how is functional medicine different? And maybe talk about your background, because did you start out in functional medicine? Was that how you got started, or?
Yeah. So, Kirk, my background is very unique. So I had my medical education in China. And in China, we have two different types of medical school. One kind is all Western medicine, teaching, all the Western medicine. But my medical school was mixed. We trained us for both Western medicine and the Chinese medicine. And also I did 8 years of training in China, 5 years medical school in China. Then I also did my master degree in longevity medicine. And so, so I have both trainings, Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine.
For the viewers that don't quite understand the difference, can you maybe explain a little bit what the difference is with the Chinese?
The differences?
Yeah, medicine.
So Western medicine, I'm kind of because I have both trainings, so I see both both have their advantages. Western medicine is good for urgent care, surgery, acute care. But in terms of chronic disease prevention or treatment or management, so definitely not sufficient or not even, that's not their advantage. Not a Western medicine, not a,
Right.
they don't have advantage
that,
in.
it's the like the care process or something. Like you come see a doctor. The way it works is the way Western medicine works is you go for like an annual checkup. They run maybe some traditional blood laboratories. They look at those results, and as long as everything's in range, you're good.
Right. Yes.
And then come back and see me if you get, sick or you get an infection or something like that. Come back and see me. I can give you, medicines and prescriptions to address those issues. And typically those medicines address the symptoms.
Right. Almost like we can think about Western medicine as a firefighter. Like when the fire really visible, okay, let's go. Let's put down the fire. Like the patient already developed a heart disease and, diabetes, out of control, and Alzheimer's and autoimmune, Crohn's, colitis, psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, have to really visible, really to the extreme. Okay, let's see we have anything we can put down the fire. But after put down the fire, so it's not the fire is not completely gone because the inside is still boiling. Really not try to solve the problem from the root. It's almost like
like you could get I guess a good example would be even you could get a stent put in, which actually fixes the problem. If you don't change some behaviors
for the time being,
if you don't change the behaviors
exactly.
and what you're doing on a daily basis, you're probably going to have to possibly redo that or
exactly.
Am I right? Is that
No,
kind of
I had a
example?
patient had 5 or 6 stents put in. So it's really not the good solution, right? So
well, it fixes the initial risk of
firefighter. Yeah. So
firefighter. I think that's a really good, but there's still some smoldering going
exactly.
on.
Yes.
And there's some structure that's damaged.
Yes, absolutely. And also now we talk about Kirk. Now we talk about lots of not lifespan, health span, like how many years you can live a healthy, productive, joyful life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
are you laying in your bed in pain?
Yes.
And then you're popping these drugs to manage that pain, and you don't have the energy you used to, and the quality of life just isn't quite the same as if you're feeling invigorated and you wake up every day and you're ready to go. And
yes.
And
so
and you have a restful sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can, I guess, with the meds, they work, right? There's meds that you can take that help you sleep, and I'm sure you're able to prescribe those too, right?
Yeah.
Except there's always a counter to that.
Yeah.
Typically. Mm-hmm. Usually there's pages of all the potential side effects and things that can happen.
Yeah.
And versus going and really addressing a lot of the things that you can do. As an example, I go back to the sleep thing. I just happen to know this because I know someone that's struggling with this, and having a good routine for sleep is probably, again, going back to the root cause. If someone's not asking the right questions, like, hey, doc, I'm not sleeping very well, which is why you have longer sessions with your patients.
Yeah.
So you can dig in a little deeper.
That's another problem. I practiced under insurance coverage for a while. So I realized I couldn't just continue like that because you couldn't. You go. You don't.
Did they limit?
You cannot limit your time. And
did they limit your time, or is just a matter of the pay was just you had to see so many patients just to make it worthwhile? You got a large facility, you have staff, you got. Obviously, there's a cost to running a practice, right?
You're right, Kirk, but many factors in the reimbursement are really bad, and also the time limit, and plus you have to follow so-called guidelines.
That's go back to what I was talking about, the guidelines.
So it's really
what are those guidelines called?
Like you have
like a care guideline.
Yeah, you give this, you treat cholesterol, high cholesterol, you give a statin, pre-diabetes, you give a metformin, and if already diabetes, you treat it like this, drugs. So it really limits the physicians to try to educate a patient, find out the root causes, to educate a patient on lifestyle changes, mental health, good weight control, weight management, anti-inflammatory diet. So many I want to talk about. So it's just really not no way to do it. Now I feel definitely, I don't take insurance. We are fee for service. I think it's giving me so much power, so much time also to do what, the things I want to do, the message I want to relate to the patient. And also I see them, one by one. We help I always tell my staff and my team, so we help one patient at a time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yes, we want to also educate a community. But when patients come to me, we are the office really treating patient. Lots of now, like Kirk, quite a lot of centers and clinics. So they do IVs, they sell products, and some of them don't even have a physician on site. Lots of them don't treat a patient, don't do like a face-to-face conversation or consultation with the patients. And we do. I spend a whole hour or even longer if a patient desires. So, and to go through detail medical history and, symptoms, their concerns, their goal, their lifestyle. So we able to, what to order, what to test, what to, how to identify their root causes, of their problem, clinical symptoms.
And that's the thing, is that it's still a layered approach.
Yeah.
I guess, can I share my story? I guess I can. It's my choice, right?
Yeah,
it's my story. So I came to Dr. Hao. Well, I came to Dr. Hao before this. This is while Dr. Hao was still my physician. And so I came to Dr. Hao after she's my physician, and I was having some gut issues. She's like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. So we did some tests, took the test, and she's like, okay, we're going to put you on this diet, put me on the diet. And then I didn't get any better. And this is the whole thing. So she's like, this isn't making any sense. We need to do another test. So the test that we did, I forgot what it's called. It's
food sensitivity.
Food sensitivity. And we found out that the diet I was on, it's really good. It's highly rated. You go look at the reviews, you look at the research, you look at everything about that particular diet supplement shake thing that you had me on to try to help me. And guess what? It had, 3 or 4 or 5 ingredients from the food sensitivities going back to causing inflammation, which is why I wasn't getting any better. So then we focused on the food sensitivities, changed up the diet. We did several tests because we found out there was yeast, because I had been chugging kombucha. So my yeast was out of control. And so the supplement, what was that supplement? Because originally you had put me on, it was in a capsule form. Then we had to go to like large amounts of powder. Was that probiotic? Is that what it is?
I believe I put you on high dose probiotic.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not on it anymore.
Yeah. 350 billion a day for you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it worked.
Yeah.
So we got rid of the inflammatory foods.
Yes.
On a high probiotic.
Yeah.
And wow, I'm doing great now.
Yeah.
And then found out that I'm low on fiber. We did another test. And so I'm doing the avocados.
Yeah.
Oh, for those folks out there, I'm just going to tell you, it's really tough because you're like, you have to really weigh, do I like eating this or do I want to feel better? I'm not going to lie to you. I do not like eating avocados, but they make me feel better. And they're so dense in fiber.
Yes.
I mean, what is it? 4 grams for one avocado or something crazy?
One medium size avocado give you 9 grams of
9 grams.
Fiber. And plus you have no trouble. Like on your food sensitivity test, you had no trouble with avocado.
With avocado. So that's the thing.
Fine,
like if avocado was on, orange, red, or definitely don't eat it.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be going down that path. But,
Yes.
but I have 2 of those. So I'm getting like...
You got 18 plus, you probably get a fiber from other foods.
Well, I do a shake and I add fiber to that. So I'm getting another, it's, 4 grams per scoop. I'm doing 2 scoops of that. So it's giving me...
That's 8. Yeah.
So I'm at like 26.
So 18 plus 8, you got 26
And I'm
already.
probably getting a little bit from some other stuff.
Yeah, you got other stuff.
But I was
you're good.
deficient.
Yeah.
And that's and the thing is you don't... Everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody different.
You could eat the exact same diet that I've got, and you're going to be having way too much.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
like you could eat the 2 scoops and the avocados and all that, and you could be going like, for whatever reason, the way your body reacts to everything. I'm not advocating everybody eat avocados. It's just you have to come see Dr. Hao. You got to do these tests. You got to figure out what is my approach going to be to get to where I want to go.
Yeah, but once you mentioned that, I do want to tell you my patient from yesterday. He's in his early 30s. So this yesterday was his second visit with me. The first visit was a few weeks ago. He came in really low mood because he has been suffering from Crohn's disease since age 16.
Oh, wow.
Over the years, saw so many GI doctors, specialists for his Crohn. And they put him on many different biologics, steroids, It kind of like I mentioned to you, it's like a firefighter. Okay, it's another flare up. Okay, we just do every flare up. Okay, steroid, and after steroid, okay, you on immune suppressant, you on biologic. 2 or 3 years ago, he said, "I'm done. I'm just fed up. So because I just don't feel well at all," and those drugs actually made me really even sicker. So he gave up that. In between, he kind of like saw a couple other, so I don't know, functional providers. I don't really know. He said it didn't feel right. So when he came to me, he was really like no appetite, losing weight quickly, and still like have blood in the pus in the stool, really weak. So he said, "Doctor, can you?" I need to feel better as soon as possible, and I cannot work like this. I cannot function like this. I also affect my work. And so I look at, he brought some bunch of blood work. So I said, okay, we needed to get your iron up. Your iron is really extremely low. So I said, I'm going to let you do some stool testing and food testing, food sensitivity testing, because that's 2 testing are essential for you. He said, okay, let's do it. He's very compliant. So I said, after you send out your stool kit, for the testing, I want you to start taking high dose probiotic. The one I put you on, 350, he definitely followed the instructions. Yesterday, he came back. He was completely, already like a different person. He said, "Doctor, I feel so much better. My stool started to formed. And I have a better energy." So we reviewed the food sensitivity testing together. And very interesting, you mentioned avocado. And he actually eats avocado on daily basis. He thought avocado is good for him.
Yeah, because of fiber.
So he actually have a few things he's eating are not good for him. So yesterday we find out avocado is, he has a moderate sensitivity to avocado, and he has a moderate sensitivity to gluten and dairy.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So he's doing it to himself. He's thinking he's eating right.
Yeah.
By having an avocado. And
he also have a moderate sensitivity to apple and the white potato. That's the few things we circled. I said, okay, take home point, stay away from those for 3 to 6 months.
I was eating apples too, and apples on my list is sensitive.
Yeah. So it's very important. This is what we call individualized or personalized medicine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since you're talking about the test, I thought this was kind of funny too. Because you had me come in and you're like, how's your mood? How's this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good. I'm all right. How's your anxiety? I'm all right. I don't have any anxiety. So I don't know why we did it, but we decided to do a neurotransmitter.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. It was like very, I don't know what the word is. And she's like, so, and you even asked me again, so how's your anxiety? Like, I'm okay. And she's like, well, this test here says a little different. I guess you can't fake out the test, can you?
Yeah. So it's very important to do functional testing. So now you know, Kirk, right? Very important.
We can ask producer Christian over here. How is Dad's mood? Is it better? I'm not perfect, but it's definitely better. So it's very important to do all of these different.
So that's interesting.
Testing.
Come back to our chronic inflammation. So the chronic inflammation, affecting almost everything in your body, right? The energy, the brain function, the mood.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Yeah.
Because maybe you can speak to this too, because a lot of this information is contained in the gut.
Yes.
But isn't the gut like the second brain or something?
Yes.
Can you maybe talk about that a little bit, about how, because if you got all this inflammation and it's all happening down here, and this is like your second brain or first brain, maybe even.
Yeah.
How does that impact?
The gut is so important that we cannot emphasize enough. So you think about 90% of your serotonin produced in the gut.
In the gut?
Yeah.
And you need that in the brain.
Yes. And also over 70% of our immune system reside in the gut. Really depend on...
So if your gut's not healthy...
Yes, secret IgA level. So it's very important. And also don't overlook the little friends, the good bacteria. So the good bacteria is so important for our immune function. And so we have, over the years, because I test the gut function a lot, almost every single patient I would recommend the gut function testing. So majority people don't have enough good flora, the little guys. The good guys, especially the lactobacillus family, and the bifidobacterium family. So we really big on give you the high quality, right dose, not a high dose, but the right dose of probiotic.
Based on your personal subject. Now, one of the other results of that stool test, if I'm not mistaken, was also parasites.
Yes.
Now, mine came back negative for parasites, but do you come across people here in the United States that are patients that still end up having parasites?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, we do find the parasites, even some patients...
How does that impact inflammation?
Oh, that's definitely function as inflammation trigger. Yeah. Not only, like in the gut, you can find so many inflammation triggers, like dysbiosis, which is bad bacteria overgrow, like in your gut, and also candida, yeast, parasites, like you mentioned, even like poor digestion. If you don't digest your food really well, the food particle can be an inflammation trigger. And don't even mention the leaky gut. Lots of people suffer from leaky gut.
What is that? Well,
leaky gut is basically means your intestinal permeability increase. So they normally is like bricks. They tightly join together, a tight junction. But when you have certain triggers, make them almost like a wall. You have many holes. Some of the food particle, the bad bacteria can leak out from your intestinal wall to your bloodstream, causing low-grade systemic inflammation. So for leaky gut, we actually specialize in treating leaky gut. So you definitely...
How would you know you have a leaky gut?
So that's the functional gut testing can reveal.
What's like one of the small, is that back to
the inflammation?
Fatigue and brain fog and stuff like that? It could be just caused maybe by a leaky gut?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Leaky gut. The new research show lots of autoimmune disorders actually link to leaky gut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because why your body develop autoimmune? So why your immune system get confused, attacking your own tissue or even your DNA, your spine, everything, so many autoimmune conditions, are countless now. So because certain things irritating your immune function, they make them get confused, almost like you have a watchdog, safeguard your house. Now the dog attacking the owner.
Right.
That's exactly what happened. So
Interesting.
So inflammation, we can. So two of us can probably talk about chronic inflammation forever, but but I want to send a message out. Is like a chronic inflammation is a big deal.
Right.
So
but it's treatable.
It's reversible, but it's a big deal because now, more and more research link the chronic inflammation
Back to all these other conditions
as one of the serious health threats to us. Heart disease. Heart disease is a leading cause of death globally. Type 2 diabetes, so many. This year, last year actually, 2025, before 2025, the prediction is by 2025, half of the country are pre-diabetic. That means half of the U.S. population suffer.
Right.
From pre-diabetic. Pre-diabetic, the next step is diabetic. So type 2, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, even cancer, autoimmune, we already talked about it, you can go on and on.
Right. You just really have to watch that sugar intake, right? I mean, it's in so much of what we eat.
You are right. It's like a diet is super important. High sugar, refined sugar, and too much carbohydrates, gluten, preservatives.
Is sugar one of the causes of inflammation?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, yeah.
So reducing your sugar intake could be one thing that you do to reverse your inflammation. What are some other ways that you can do to change your daily habits to reverse inflammation?
You can do so much, the daily habits, the exposures, the stresses is all contributed to chronic inflammation. So daily habits such as eating clean. Clean means you, to me, look, I normally tell my patient to stay away or reduce or try to eliminate three things: sugar, carbohydrates, and dairy. Because it's not I came up with this.
Those are all on my list too. Yeah. By the way, on my food sensitivity list.
Yeah, based on research and the science, but also based on so many years clinical experience. I see so many patient reports and, talking to each individual. And so this is come down to, this is the key, the sugar, the carbs, and especially refined carbs.
So it's not so much, so what you're saying, at least one of the things, at least me personally, because I'm on the downward trend, it's not so much quantity.
Not so much quantity.
It's
you are right.
What you're eating. Quality.
Quality matters.
And what I've found is if you upgrade your quality, the quantity goes down naturally.
Yeah.
That's at least my personal experience for the last few months.
Yeah. That's interesting you mentioned. It's almost like you upgrade your eating. Mm-hmm. You upgrade your sleep.
This morning, as an example, I had a hot, and even today I skipped, I think I seem pretty up with it, awake. I've been up since 4:45 this morning, and I had my hot water with salt and lemon. Still haven't had a coffee yet. Do I want a coffee? Yeah, I still want a coffee. I'm not going to lie. I still like to have a coffee. I'm having I don't know, what is this?
Matcha.
Matcha.
I made a matcha tea for you.
You made a matcha tea for me. It's very good.
This is my water.
And so I have, I'm sorry, I can go down so many different rabbit holes. Hopefully you don't mind me do this. So I get a herbal tea. So Dr. Hao is also an herbalist.
Yes.
On top of everything else.
Yeah.
So what I usually do is I start the morning with my hot water, lemon, salt. Then I'll have my herbal tea. And then I have my coffee. And I usually don't want to have more than one cup of coffee.
That's
because
great.
I've already started.
Yeah.
I started with the water, started with the herbal tea.
Yes.
And actually, Dr. House actually made me 2 different teas. So I still have one of the older ones. So I sometimes even have 2 teas because they're different because she
Yes.
made them for different things.
Yeah.
Just really upgrading what I'm eating.
Yeah.
And then I had 3 eggs this morning I ran out of avocados. Typically, I'd have 2 avocados with those 3 eggs.
Yeah.
And so this morning, all I had was 3 eggs. I feel satisfied. I'm not hungry. I feel, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess satisfied.
Satisfied. Yeah.
Satisfecho in
Yeah.
Spanish. So I've upgraded.
Yeah.
And, and it's not how do I want to say this, is I don't think you can just flip a switch and it happens. I think it did take some effort mentally,
Yes.
mental effort on my part to
Yeah.
cut back on some things.
Yes.
But,
Eating.
and I'm still not eating 100% clean because I'll have to say that with got a witness over here that's going to go, what are you doing? You still having your little chocolate bars and stuff, but they're higher concentration of.
You are eating dark chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah, dark chocolate is, is fine. It's lots of full of antioxidants.
And moderation.
Moderation, exactly.
Yes.
Moderation. So, yeah. So
not
besides,
not a Three Musketeers or a Snickers or Milky Way.
Yeah. Besides, food choices, but how about your movement? You want to move. So for people like a sedentary, so probably the best way for them to just start walking. Just start a walk like 15, 20 minutes, right?
Well, I have a neighbor who was severely overweight, and I thought he was on that shot. And I was like, "Oh, you're doing that?" Nope. No, I don't want to do that because that has its concerns too, right? And I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just watching what I'm eating and I'm walking." And
Very
he was
good.
down 60 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he looks great.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Nothing, it's not, I still think I don't want to discount going to the gym and lifting weights. I think that's important. I think maybe mixing in some cardio is important. I don't think you'll disagree with that, but not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
And the point you're trying to make is everybody can go out and walk for 10 or 15 minutes a day. It doesn't require any equipment.
Yeah.
It doesn't require a special place to go. You just go outside, you get some sunlight, particularly in the morning, I guess I understand. My wife's telling me.
Yes, with the sun rising, yes. Because you want the universal energy, like rising, because our cortisol normally naturally at a peak around 7 a.m. So that's good. Get your body energy also. Go with it.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your body is warming up.
Yes. And sleep, you kind of like mentioned sleep a little bit, but sleep is also very important.
That's important for inflammation?
Yeah, like adequate sleep, like a high quality sleep. So many people either couldn't sleep, just have a trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. The studies show like the best time for bedtime should be 10 p.m.
Oh, really?
10 to 3 are super essential, super important, because that's the time your body, your night crew, the detox process start to carry out. And that's your body produce the most GH, growth hormone.
Oh, really?
Growth hormone, yeah. For kids, they really need a growth hormone to grow. But for adults, we need a growth hormone to repair our tissue.
Oh,
It's still very important, yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
So to that end, what we talked about, some of the supplements you talked about, what other things do you do? Like, do you do testing, or what did you want to go into, like the testing part of it?
So I do want to talk about testing. When patients come to us, lots of people suffer from certain chronic symptoms for a long time. So they want to get a comprehensive testing. They said, please, doctor, help me, find out why I'm this way. The regular labs, lots of them are fine. They can, I don't, my primary doctor told me I'm fine, but I'm not fine. That's you hear very often. So to focus on our chronic inflammation, how we identify chronic inflammation, because it can be hidden, can be silent. We have some regular blood we can do, like a high sensitive CRP, homocysteine, fasting insulin, interleukin-6, TNF alpha, We can also do, sugar like ferritin, hemoglobin A1C. Those all can give us some idea. And high sensitivity CRP is very specific for cardiovasculature. We test the high sensitivity CRP a lot, basically for everybody. Homocysteine is also super important. That particular inflammation marker can predict your heart attack and the stroke risk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So homocysteine we do check. After long COVID, after pandemic, so many patients suffer from long COVID. It's just like a prolonged period of not feeling well. And we also call it post-COVID syndrome. So we also adding on.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, real thing. We add on interleukin 6 and TNF alpha. We also sometimes we test the histamine, other neurotransmitters to really figure out, the inflammation. But besides the regular blood work, those type of blood work, we can use Quest or LabCorp, but we also do many advanced functional testing, such as the one you already familiar, the gut testing, the comprehensive gut analysis. We also do food sensitivity testing because food can be a trigger. We also do neurotransmitter testing to find out, what's going on with the brain chemistry. And we do
can greatly
nutrition.
Impact your mood and anxiety levels.
And the cognition. And the movement. Parkinson's patient, that's the movement disorder. And we also do, toxicity. Toxic exposure is a big deal now. It's a big problem, big issue. So we also do like heavy metal testing, toxic metals, toxic chemicals,
These are all hidden.
Mold toxicity. That's a big deal also.
These are all hidden that you wouldn't normally get from a normal blood test.
Yes.
They don't typically get tested, so you don't know. You could be suffering from some of these toxicity exposures that you may have.
Yeah. And also very important to be noted is some people have trouble detoxing genetically. We also do genetic analysis to see, are you a good detoxifier or you are sluggish detoxifier, which is the very well-known enzyme called MTHFR. Some people have some knowledge about that because lots of research on that gene mutation. If you have a gene mutation of MTHFR, so you could be a sluggish detoxifier. So I had a patient, she has strong family history of cancer. Many of her family members either suffering from cancer or died of cancer. So she came in. She herself had lots of gynecological problem like ovarian cysts, a breast cyst. She asked me actually to check her, to check genetically. So we did a methylation detoxification cycle test, including the MTHFR gene. So she had a double mutation on that enzyme, the MTHFR. So basically, she's a very sluggish detoxifier.
Oh, so is that basically maybe like part of the cause of cancer?
Yes.
The body's not able to detox. That's also explain why when you exposed to certain toxicities, like such as mold, so I'm highly allergic to all of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So if let's say like you live in a moldy environment, like your family, a family of 4, but only one person sick, that happen a lot. So that's why makes the mold toxicity is also hidden. Because, my husband feels fine, my kids are fine, only me. But that's true. That's normal. Because mold toxicity also only affect about 25% of population. So like certain people like exposed to mold toxicity, but their body able to get rid of them or remove them. And then a certain percentage of the population just couldn't. They got sicker and sicker. They can cause, that's also become a chronic inflammation. So toxicity is a toxic exposure. It needed to also to be investigated.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Once we get that testing and they start taking some corrective actions on it, maybe some life changes, what typically is I know for myself, but I'm just curious because you get to see all these folks.
Yeah.
What's kind of the first thing that starts happening for them for the better? What do they notice first?
Yeah. So weight is a very good indication. People started, once they eat better, started to move, get adequate sleep, get on some targeted supplements. And so lots of them start to lose weight because weight is we are really overweight country, right?
Right.
Yeah, like obese rate is so high. Their weight start to drop. Their brain clarity are better. Energy.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the weight, dropping the weight also impacts your ability with the diabetes.
Right.
So you might be like, I might be on that edge right now, but if I drop 10 or 15 pounds, my body is going to be naturally able to deal better.
Yeah, even
with that. Is that
the study shows even you drop 5% of your body weight, it will really significantly impact your sugar level. Like,
really?
Yeah, will drop your sugar. So I had a patient.
How does that work? Because does that mean you could eat the same amount of sugar, or your body doesn't crave it, or?
No, I mean impact your glucose, blood glucose level. So it's make your sugar drop.
It makes your sugar drop, just losing the weight.
Losing the weight, yeah. The weight is...
Does the fat cells, does it hold sugar?
The fat cells, too many fat cells, inflammatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
inflammatory, pro-inflammatory, yeah. So...
back to the whole inflammatory issue.
So it's almost like a vicious cycle. You don't eat right, you gain weight, then your sugar go up, then the high sugar is inflammation. So make your weight loss harder. Then you continue gain weight. It's like go up.
Right.
Up.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Just interesting because I know somebody that was struggling with weight, and we were having this conversation. He said it's interesting the way the body works and it works both ways. On the way up, as he was gaining weight, he said he would then plateau for a little bit. And then all of a sudden he'd go and he literally gained like 10, 15 pounds. Boom.
Yeah.
On the way up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he got up to maybe 400 pounds. And he might have been on one of those drugs. I can't remember because at the time, this is back in the 2007, 2008 period. He couldn't get it here. Whatever he was taking, he couldn't get it here. He had to order it from Europe. I was like, well, maybe I need that. Because he admittedly said he had an eating disorder. And he's like, well, let me ask you a few questions. He's like, so when you get a craving for ice cream, do you just go to the store and buy it? I'm like, well, no. He goes, I'll get a craving at 2 a.m. and I've already ate all the ice cream in the house, and I'll go buy. I won't buy 1 gallon. I'll get 2. I'll eat 1 on the way home, and then I'll eat the other one when I get home at 2 a.m. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think I do that. He goes, yeah. He goes, that, I'll go out and buy donuts for the office. I won't buy, office needs 1 dozen donuts. I'll buy 2 dozen donuts and I'll eat 1 dozen on the way to the office. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have an eating problem. But I guess there are people out there like that. He's talking about how the body plateaus. And he said it was the same way coming down. Like he would, so I'm wanting to mention it because people are like, I'm eating right and nothing's happening. It's like, it takes a moment and it's just like the body's going to like equalize. And so you're doing the right things, and then all of a sudden, boom, you'll drop a few pounds. And then you'll probably plateau a little bit, and you keep eating right. So I guess I'm saying that because I don't want people to get frustrated that they're not seeing like immediate results aren't immediate. It's more about starting the habits and doing the right things, getting out and moving, and eating the right foods and getting the right sleep. Would you say that that's probably
I'm glad
the reality of it?
I'm glad that you mentioned this topic. Like, some people do feel frustrated and they don't lose weight. And last summer, I had a 19-year-old college student. She plays sports in college. And she 5-hour training every day. It's very muscular and strong girl. And just weight just continue going up. And she very frustrated because her sister and much skinnier than her. And here she exercises so much, and according to her, she tried to eat right. And the mom brought her here. She cried and frustrated. So we said, okay, let's do some you think you eat right, healthy, maybe not. We don't know. Let's see. We check your gut function, do a food sensitivity testing. Maybe you think you are eating the right food, but it's not the right food for you. Her mom actually, once she walked out, her mom said, Doctor, I have to tell you, I think she eats lots of sugar, but I cannot tell her. She got upset with me. Very interesting. So when her report came out, she actually have a high sensitivity to sugar, to all sugar, cane sugar, honey,
monk fruit,
agave, all this.
All of it.
Yeah. So sensitive to sugar, sensitive to carbs, and sensitive to dairy. So she does have lots of food sensitivity. Because it's the summer, she's at home, she's more relaxed. Her mother said, that's good. Because she's a pre-med student. She's very scientific. So she will follow this to the T. So she did. She followed. Before she left home, she lost 10 pounds.
Just over
she
one
lost
summer.
10 pounds, but I also fixed her gut. She also have a GI dysfunction. So she couldn't be happier.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be the case. I mean, even if you're not adding the sugar factor to it, I'll tell you one that was on my list that I ate a lot of.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
Okay.
Now, who would think watermelon would be bad for you? But it was bad for me.
Yeah, but a high glycemic index fruit. That's also. Yeah.
So and sugar was on my list too. So
yeah.
I got a high glycemic, high fruit.
Yeah.
Plus I'm sensitive to it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make for a good food for you.
Yeah, it's really so many factors, play into the game, right?
Right.
And when we do testing, actually certain tests, like when we do micronutrient testing, the lab actually is able to give us, is this patient okay with the fructose, metabolize glucose normal? They actually give you those information. So we have a certain percentage of patients cannot tolerate fructose. They just couldn't.
So they could be eating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, they could be eating lots of fruits.
They're not eating candy bars and chips and all this. They can be eating natural foods and it still is not good for them, technically.
Yes, yeah. Like for those patients, I always tell them, try to stay away from high sugar load food, such as tropical fruits like a mango, and watermelon, like you mentioned, pineapple. Those are loaded with fructose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
We want to send the message to our viewers or listeners, like, it's never a one trigger for chronic inflammation. So it's normally, comes with daily habits, toxic exposures, life stresses,
food sensitivities.
Food sensitivity.
And then the thing is, you hit
lack of sleep.
You hit all of those things, and then boom, you're just not in a happy camper.
Yeah, so that keep your immune system on high alert for months or years. That's eventually it break down your body, break down your tissue, break down your blood vessel, and break down your DNA even. When the DNA got a breakdown or damaged, that's cancer come.
I see.
Right? The cancer showed up. We normally, when patient come in, like we already talk a lot, so we always look at gut function. So if you have gut microbial imbalances, we have to fix that. Metabolic dysfunction, like, pre-diabetes, diabetes, high class, hyperlipidemia, we fix those. Chronic stress, so de-stress is mandatory in the modern life, right? Kirk, So have to de-stress yourself. You have to find a way to control your stress level. Like if you need I call it me time. So when you go home, if you feel like, I just had a stress day, don't talk to your family members. Lock yourself in your own room and give yourself me time, just you, for 15 minutes. You can do a meditation or play with your pet, if that can relax you, or do some gentle stretch, listen to some music you really enjoy.
Not on your phone with social media.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
You're not on your phone with
De-stress.
social media. That's
Yeah.
not de-stress.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Yes. Avoid.
No devices.
No devices. So avoid the toxicity exposure as much as you can and get adequate sleep. Start to move any kind of form of exercise you enjoy. But if you never have a regular exercise habit, just start to walk. Just walk. Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah. 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. Avoid ultra processed food. Avoid like when you buy anything, if like more than 4 ingredients, be careful. Or if the ingredients you don't even know how to pronounce, right? Or you don't really know what they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at your coffee, it just says coffee. So you guys can learn more about inflammation. There's an open house. It's the event's going to be called Hidden Inflammation, the root cause of chronic symptoms, weight gain, accelerated aging, and long COVID. Saturday, March 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Dr. Howe's Center for Optimal Health and Longevity, 2900 North Military Trail, Suite 101 in Boca Raton. She asked that you RSVP. You can call 561-998-0309 or text 561-334-3208. And her website is Dr. Hao MD. That's DRHAOMD.com. Who's this event good for? And what can people expect if they come?
This event, we are open for everybody willing to learn about hidden inflammation. So we welcome them all to come. It's an educational event. We are going to have different topics we are going to talk about, but all related to chronic inflammation. We are going to talk about anti-inflammatory diet. We are going to talk about how to identify accurately the root causes of your chronic inflammation and how to reverse it, and give you some knowledge and to bring home, and also empower you to upgrade. Like we talk about the word upgrade your life, upgrade your food, upgrade your sleep, upgrade your mind, upgrade your nutrition. Mm-hmm. And for you to live a healthy, long life.
Yeah.
Happy also.
Happy too,
Yes.
right. I mean, I really think that's just an amazing opportunity for everybody they get a chance to actually meet you and kind of learn. The chronic inflammation, it affects millions of people, and you can reverse it once you have some understanding, right?
Yeah. So you don't want to wait for the bad consequences, happen to you. Like, you already have like heart disease or cancer, stage 4, it's hard to manage, right?
Right.
To a certain extent, it's hard to reverse or manage. But once we pay attention once we have the knowledge, we all can do better. That's my belief.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing. I think a lot of people don't really understand this, and I think it's becoming more and more prevalent out there.
Yeah.
With the different years, I can't think of some of the people forging ahead, but I know, what's the guy's name? I don't know if you've heard of Paul Saladino. He's really big into the microplastics and stuff. So he brings, he had this one Instagram that I saw that was hilarious. He goes on the plane. He doesn't want plastic. So he brought coconuts with a metal straw. And they actually let him bring his coconuts on for his water, because that's what he wanted on the plane. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I was just curious, are there any books out there that kind of cover some of these topics if people want to do some of their own reading and research? Do you know of any that we could recommend to take a look at? Or
Chronic inflammation. Yeah, I believe that there are some books about chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is such a big topic, right? Like you can go on and on. I'm not aware there is a book to cover all the aspects. Yeah,
like a primer, like give somebody a baseline knowledge. But you're going to have that March 28th.
March 28th, we would try to cover as much as possible. So the one thing you mentioned the microplastic. So that's the one thing I want to tell you. Recently, I have one patient came in with recurrent sinus infection, and he just finished one antibiotic. A couple of weeks later, another sinus infection. So I said that's not normal. And very interesting is that he actually still on the antibiotic nasal spray the ENT gave it to him, and then he developed another sinus infection. So he plays golf a lot. So I said, you might have some toxic exposure. And I just got his partial report back. He has some high levels of chemicals in his body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And produced by herbicide, like, the Roundup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those things it's just like so many things you have to think about in terms of chronic inflammation.
Like me, so I'm going to plug ENTs, go see your ENT.
Yeah.
Need to get checked out.
Yeah.
And because you never know what's going on in there. And I had if there was some kind of measure of it, but a very bad deviated septum to the point that it required surgery.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when he took all the unpacking out finally in his office. It happened to be, I think, during the holidays because it was just him and his wife there she's a nurse, and so she was the assistant that day. He's like, okay, you can breathe through, both nostrils. And I breathed in and I started tearing up. And he's like, yeah, you never breathed like that before, have you? And I'm like, no. Like in my entire life, I never remember breathing that well through my nostrils. I was a mouth breather.
Wow.
Because I couldn't breathe.
Okay. So now you can. Yeah.
And I'm sharing that story because it's similar to the things that you're trying to help patients with.
Yeah.
These things are invisible. We don't even understand that we're fighting them and have these conditions.
Yeah.
I had no idea that I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. No, that's good. You mentioned that because I always want them to get a checkout by the specialist. We want to rule out any
I'm going back to the whole
structural problem. Yeah.
Right. But I'm also going back to the whole inflammation thing.
Yes.
Here I had this issue and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Until I finally got to a specialist like yourself.
Yeah.
That can address this and do some diagnostics to find out what's actually happening in my life.
Yeah.
And why I'm having this fatigue and can't sleep at night and whatnot. I've been pitching you hard to a friend of mine in St. Louis. I go, dude, it's worth it. You just need to fly down to Florida, come visit me, go see Dr. Hao, and we'll see. I'm still working on them. But I want to do a mention really quick here. We're sponsoring this with Maya Soap. Maya Soap is a small batch handcrafted soap that my wife makes here locally in Florida. Every bar is poured, cut, and wrapped by hand with a lot of care and attention to detail. We're still in pre-launch. We're working on it. Pre-launch phase. She's got this sponsoring several episodes. We're using the show to find the right people to try it out. If you really want to try a bar out, send me a note. That's a mail, so old school mail. Put your name, mailing address, email, phone number, and I'll do my best to make sure you receive one. Bars are in limited quantities, especially just in case this, even though somebody told me not to say this, I want to say it anyway. Even if this episode happens to go viral, I can't ship 1 million bars of soap. But if you send me a letter, 78 cents is pretty cheap bar. So I'll pay the shipping to you. It's going to be more than your stamp. So it's Vibe Your Vibe, Maya Soap, 6586 Hypoluxo Road, number 101, Lake Worth, Florida, 33463. So we're also working on building out a giveaway list, so a submission form. So we'll have a link in there, so you can drop all that information into that, and we'll do like a drawing or something. But if you send me a card, you're going to go to the top of the list, and we'll try to make sure that you get there.
Best luck.
Yeah. So as we already heard, I just want to do another plug really quick at the end. Chronic inflammation affects millions of people. It's reversible once you understand the root cause. Dr. Hao has the experience and access to the diagnostics that can get you to that. If you felt like this conversation resonated with you, be sure to join Dr. Hao March 28th from 10 to 2 here at her Center for Optimal Health and Longevity in Boca Raton. You can learn more at drhaomd.com. That's drhaomd.com. On her website, I think she sends out newsletters on a regular basis with
we do
very
send out
informative.
weekly emails. Yeah. So anybody interested they can just send us to go to the website.
I think if you go to the website,
email.
It pops up right away to sign up for the email.
Yeah.
And so, so Dr. Hao, thanks for coming in and sharing all about this information. I think it's just not out there enough. People need to hear about it and know, and now you can got somewhere to go and get some more education and hopefully get help if you need it.
Thank you. Knowledge is power. So when I see a patient, I always try to empower that person, give them power to help themselves also. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. And I'm going to add to that too.
Yeah.
So you're in control of your own health. Dr. Hao's not going to twist your arm and force you to do something you don't want to do. Right.
Right.
I mean, you're going to, so she's very easy to work with, but she also has the knowledge to give you the help. You may not want to hear some of it, probably. I know I don't like the fact that I'm not supposed to eat sugar like I like to, but it's
changing lifestyle is not easy.
It's
we
not
realize,
easy, but I feel so much better.
Yeah. You can take a baby steps, as long as you upgrade yourself on daily basis.
Mm-hmm. And that's the key, baby steps. Don't try to do it overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Dr. Hao. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And appreciate you being here.